Okay. So like I was saying, right? So learning data analytics is a long journey of 6 to 8 months, right? Because it involves not only learning the conceptual part, but also, doing a lot of practice. The journey does not only stop at concept clearing or practice, but it goes to interview preparation also. So it's a long journey. Now, to make sure that this journey is engaging, right? And what we have done is we have built this JARVIS, which is a learning management system for students of Analytics Shiksha. What the JARVIS is all about, how it can, help you become top data analyst in the industry. You see that there is a learning streak. Now, let's say if you have not watched any video, right, for last few days, maybe today, then it will give you a pop-up and it will say that, start learning streak today, and because doing it continuously. And whenever, let's say you complete it, you will see it as green that, for today you have completed. Now, let's say I'm starting my journey. What this homepage is about, it tells you a summary of what is your progress so far, how other students who are competing. So for example, it will tell you total time spent in a week, total time spent in a month, and total time spent so far on LM. Right? So if you see this, I spent quite some time. Why this is important is so that you can also understand where do you stand. Ever you spend enough time in the last 1 week or not, right? This student would know that, 1 hour in a week is so low. So this will give them a clear idea of how much time they are spending and how much they should be spending, which I recommend. Then it also gives you the summary, how much quizzes you have completed. Out of total, 82% of the quizzes are done. Out of total practice exercises, only 4% are done. The live classes are so far 13%, and lectures completed so far is 8. So it gives you a quick idea of what is happening. Now, this is a leaderboard on the right. Now, make sure that you understand where do you stand with respect to the 29 students. We have a leaderboard across week, month, or life. So if you look at it, Aman, Priya, and Transhita, they are lifetime. Then Vikas is 4th, Sandeep is 5th, Akshat is 6th. Now, if I go to weekly, then Akshat becomes 5th and Sandeep becomes 6th. So across week, it sort of tracks what is happening, which student is scoring how much. Now, this leaderboard is a function of how good you are in terms of practice exercises, quizzes, are you attending live classes. Right. So it tracks everything and ensures that first, you are doing the program honestly. Second, it sees and evaluates your quizzes and practice exercise to gauge whether you have learned what we are teaching. So this is dashboard, summary dashboard to understand how it is going. Now, let's say you are on a lecture, you are studying something, then there are some quick links. You can just click on, it will take you the previous lecture that you were learning, where yesterday or someday, whenever you know. Now, let's say you want to go into your course, right? You want to see what the course is all about. So now we'll go to my course. Now, if I go to my course, then it will show you what course you are enrolled into. So it's a data analytics course. How the program works is there is art of problem solving. Then you will see Google Sheet module, then statistics, SQL, Python, and then finally Power BI. And then you will complete the conceptual or the concept part of it with practical exercise. The next stage will be interview preparation. Right? So if you look at it, all these are highlighted here. Then you can enter your course. Let's say view course, and then you'll see all these modules ranging from problem solving, Google Sheets, statistics, and you can see how many modules are there, how much time it might take, and then SQL is so currently in this batch SQL at the moment. So that's why you'll see it is open till C. Then next we'll start with Python, Power BI, and once we are done with all the modules, students are done with all the practice exercise, all the quizzes, and all the midterm test for each module. Then, and they pass it, then they will reach to the final. Now, let's say if I go to problem solving. Problem solving is a very critical module, which is very relevant for any data analytics professional who want to get a good job. Now, you can sort of so-so job, or you can get a entry-level normal job by learning Python, SQL, Power BI, etc. But let's say if you, as a, if you are aiming for a job which is top-notch, in a top-notch company like Zomato, Deloitte, maybe McKinsey, right, Amazon, all these companies, they look for one important critical skill set of problem solving. So this is, we came up with this model of problem solving, which will give you a structured approach. What we do is we first introduce the domain, because as a student, they might not know everything about retail domain. They might not know everything about insurance or banking. So it's important for you as a student to understand all these domains, also understand the framework of problems. So in this section, for example, I've introduced what is a problem solving framework, but now it is not only about the problem solving framework, it is much more than that. You should also be able to do practice. So for example, this is a retail domain assignment. There is a customer churn happening. Customers are leaving the retailer. They are switching to a competitor. So they have to figure out a way what could be the reasons of it. They have to come up with all the possible reasons with our framework, and then to obviously solve this with it. Right. So the best part is, with every potential concept, there is one practice exercise and one quiz. As a result, we have more than 70 practice exercises and more than 80 quiz. So that you as a student has hands-on exposure to each and every business problem that you will be solving live in your actual job that you will be solving. So we understand that, if you are new to coding, then it might be a little challenging for you versus a student who has already done some sort of programming historically, right? So this is where one key element that we have added, which I have built myself, which is Code Mentor, AI Code Mentor by Analytics Shiksha. So let's say if you go to first one of the modules, one of the sections of SQL, then obviously there are some key concepts. Then, like I said, for every concept, there are practical exercises. Now, while doing this practical exercise, what might happen is you might be stuck somewhere, right? You might have some doubt. So you can reach out to the faculty, the teachers. That is option one. Now, let's say you're doing it some odd time. You're doing maybe 1 a.m. or someone, because you are more comfortable learning at that time, right? And maybe no faculty is available. So this is where the Code Mentor comes into the picture. So it's like a personalized coding mentor for you. So what you can do is you can talk to this, and what it will do is it will help you with your doubt solving in coding. Now, it will not give you answers to any practical question, to any practice exercise. It will not give you any answer, but it will give you hints. What I mean by that. So let's say, not sure if you know SQL, but a very basic query in SQL is select star, select columns. Let's say star gives you all the columns, then you can select column names also. It has to be separate, right? When you are new to SQL, sometimes you don't remember all these syntax, right? You might miss comma. This is a issue a lot of students face when they start learning SQL, right? Now, let's say I give it as an input to this Code Mentor, right? Now, what this Code Mentor will do, you see the beauty. It will give you some hints, tips, and it will ask you some questions. So what is a hint? So basically what I did is I removed comma between these two columns. So in SQL, you have to have a comma, right? Between two columns, or any column, which should be separated by comma. Let's see the hint that it is saying. It's saying in SQL, when selecting multiple columns from a table, you need to separate column names with a comma. So it is giving you that hint. Now, there's a tip: review the syntax of select statement in SQL. So go back and review that concept. It's important to ensure that each column that you want to retrieve is separated properly to avoid syntax error. So because I was doing some syntax error, it is identified it, and it is saying how do your query look if you correctly comma between these two columns. So it is now initial stages, students get stuck in these small syntactical error and they lose hope. They became demotivated, right? So what the agenda for us in Analytics Shiksha is that, make it so smooth that every student should be positive, should be motivated in this journey. Even the experienced people, like for example, our website developer Ajay, he also was struggling. He error kya hai? So what is, we went to this Code Mentor, right? We asked him what is happening. So he said that, check the sequence of inserting the data. Secondly, check whether you are rightly setting the primary key and secondary. And so हमने ये दोनों चीजें check, and we had ensured one of these. Versus if SQL compile, it will not tell you. It will just said that foreign key error, but broad है. You don't know what it is. तो उसका lingo अलग है, and it is hard to interpret, versus this is more broad. It is in much more detail, and it will explain you कि वो क्या रहा. Apart from it, what we also do is, we have for each module, we have a module end project, which is a real world study. For example, in statistics, we had a case study on Walmart customers. We were analyzing the customer behavior of Walmart. We created certain customer profiles and understood how is a customer behavior involved. Similarly, if you look at the SQL industry project, it is on Asian Paints. I'll not say the name, but we have written it XYZ. It's a subset of their data set. It's about how their strategy. It's mostly on marketing, if their marketing are working or not, right? So with every subject, whether it's problem solving, whether it's SQL, whether it's Python, we have a industry project taken from a real company, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Asian Paints. Now, also there will be a test. So you can look at your test. You can go to exam section and it will show you the test that you have taken so far, right? You can see there was 2 hours test, and then you can also look at the solution discussion. So once the test is done, then we do a session on solution discussion where we discuss the solution in details, so that every student is clear with the question. Don't look at the score. This was a test run that I was doing. Yeah. And you can find your upcoming exam here. So there will be, for this batch, there will be a new exam on SQL, which will be released there. And then students can go to class schedule and then they can see what are the, previous classes that has happened so far and what are the upcoming classes that will. So in summary, so it's about making sure that the journey of 6 to 8 months is fun, engaging for you. It's a little competitive for you.